This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to a special live edition of the Voice of the Land podcast. We told you big things are coming, and big things are on the horizon. There's more details to come on that. We're giving this a trial run tonight for a live edition of the podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Arnold. Alongside me, as always, donned in his great Browns gear as well.
That's right.
My brother, Nick Paulus, and our producer extraordinaire behind the proverbial glass that you can't see right now, Peter Tellup. We are partnered with web streaming studio by LPV Productions, as we are on the LPV Productions YouTube page going live here tonight. And we are also partnered with NEO Sports Network. Our sponsor here in Season 4, DP Construction LLC. I know Tyler LaFrada and Uncle Steve got to be going crazy today.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Reach out to those Browns fans for all your concrete construction needs. Phone number 330-217-4999. That's 330-217-4999. Or find them on Facebook at DP Construction LLC. See all of the photos of all the work they've done and reach out for a quote through Facebook. You can always find the show, is what we're going to be calling this now, a show. We're going to be transitioning, and you're going to find out why. You're going to find out why, but that's a little tease. You're going to have to stay tuned to our YouTube page at Voice of the Land Podcast throughout the week. But we are going to be going live a lot more here moving forward. But you can always find the show on replay on Google, Spotify, and Apple, all your major podcast platforms. Hit subscribe, hit like, turn on all notifications, even on the YouTube page. Find us on social media at VTL_pod on Twitter and Instagram, and hit up that Facebook page. Hit that little thumbs up like, the original thumbs up like. I guess MySpace was kind of the original, but Facebook kind of really took off.
They capitalized on it. I think they really did.
They capitalized on it, and they stopped doing the dumb top 8 friends. So, you know,
thank God.
Thank God. So find us on there at Voice of the Land. And, of course, follow my man, Nick Paulus, at CLE_Paulus. You know you're going to get live react. You're going to get all the gifts, the gift man over here.
That's right.
On Twitter throughout the Browns React. Follow myself at Kevin7, because you know I always come through in the clutch when it matters most. and of course, follow LPV Productions and NEO Sports Network on all the major podcast platforms. We are here. We are live. Let's just jump right in. Browns get the win over the so-called America's team. They get the win 49-38. I think.
Yeah, 49-38. Yeah.
There were so many points scored. I lost. Sometimes you lose track of what's going on. But the Browns win, and they go to 3-1. For the first time since 2001, 49-38, amassed 307 yards on the ground. Paulus, we're live. Initial react. Where are you at right now?
Well, bringing up, I told you before the show that they did, that I have a couple of stats here that were really shocking. A couple of them. That 307 rushing yards is the most ever given up by a Cowboys defense, ever. In the history of the Cowboys, they've been around since 1960.
You know what I love most about that? Like,
what's that? All
the Cowboys fans are upset right now.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Indians Twitter. We'll touch on the Indians. I know that's still a sore subject for us and a lot of Cleveland fans, but their Twitter is always on point. And they kind of tweeted out, in congratulations to the Browns, they said, well, I'm sure a lot of Yankees fans aren't feeling too good right now, because we talked about it several weeks back. Oh, if they're Yankees fans, they're going to be Dallas Cowboys fans. They're going to be LA something.
Well, you know what is funny? Famed Cowboys lover, LeBron James, was rooting for OBJ on that.
I'm telling you guys, he's always loved Cleveland, man.
Absolutely.
He's always said love, man.
You have to. Yeah. He's from Akron. Come on.
Right.
Of course.
But I always didn't like that he was a Yankees. Like, he showed up at that playoff game in the Yankees cap.
And wearing the Yankees cap.
Was wearing the Cowboy stuff when he was here. But, I mean, we just went 3-1 for the first time since 2001. In hindsight,
You can do whatever you want, LeBron. Go right
we
ahead.
We haven't been good. I don't know consistent good football. No. I'm 29 years old. I'm loving this because I've been told what Browns football, what good Browns football can do to this town.
Yeah.
And if we keep this going,
Tony Rizzo of The Really Big Show on 850 ESPN Cleveland actually sent out a tweet. Most 30-year-olds have no idea what this is, like what they're seeing. Like, this was the normal back in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, like the high fly scoring, Bernie scoring. I mean, even before that, Brian Sipe. I mean, there were a lot of really good connections back in the 80s. Our, time frame, we missed that. You and I mean, I'm 31, going to be 32 here in December. You're 29, going on 30. Like, we've missed that, an entire portion of our life.
Let me just put this into perspective real quick. I know we're going to get all into the Browns.
Right.
Don't worry.
Of course.
But the reason why we feel excited and know how to be excited is because we are brought up the right way by our families to be Cleveland Browns fans for moments like this, to feel like things are going in the right direction and to have that football town, that excited football town going. When I was a kid, the Browns left in 95 and I was only 4 or 5 years old when they left.
You never felt that pain. You didn't know that pain.
I didn't know that pain because while I was a sports fan, I didn't know enough. I really started to grow into understanding sports, to be a fan of sports in 99. When the Browns came back around that turn of the century. So all I've known football-wise is that the Browns have a long history of being good and what this Browns town can look like when they are good, but not actually experiencing it anywhere close to a consistent basis.
Yeah, I mean, once again, this is the first time that we've been 3-1 since 2001. I was in 7th grade, so you would have been, what, 5th?
Yeah,
probably, right around there. I mean,
there.
It's crazy to think like that. It's been 19 years since we've had this sort of success to start off a year. Okay. Obviously, I mean, it's just been amazing. And I want to let everyone know, now that we're doing this, on a live basis, and we're going to be doing these, typically Sunday nights around 7 o'clock from here on out for a good portion, of the time. I just want to let you all know, like we got, we got notes written down. We got pages on pages. We got everything covered. Like, we're going to tell you exactly how we felt at certain moments in the game. Like, it's going to be fresh. It's going to be fresh here for us because we're doing this live now. And thank God for it, because it is going to be so much fun talking about this. And, like, this game in particular.
Right.
The fact that they scored 49 points in dramatic fashion, too. Like, the Cowboys get back into this game 41-38. Like, I actually have written on here, and my entire family, I was hanging out with the family up at my dad's house, and they're seeing me jotting down all these notes and everything like that. And, after really good plays, I'm jotting down notes. After really bad plays, I'm jotting down, like all angrily. I jotted down, as soon as they scored the 2-point conversion to bring it up to 41-38, my sister Karen looks over at me and she goes, "So what'd you just jot down?" I go, "Sweating." like I'm terrified at this moment in time, as most Browns fans probably were. Let's be honest. Bad stuff happens to the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
Bad stuff happens to Cleveland fans, as we'll get into with the Indians later on.
Yes.
But, you just had this gut feeling like, why? And I'll tell you, in the fourth quarter, as soon as the fourth quarter started, I checked ESPN's percent to win sort of thing. 99.8% chance to win the game going into the fourth quarter. We were up 24 points, I believe. I believe 24 or 27 going into the fourth quarter. 99.8% chance to win. That dropped immediately down to 50-50 whenever it was right around the 4-minute mark, 6 to 4 minute mark there for us. So obviously terrified, as soon as that all goes down. But the play of the game. Easily the play of the game for me.
OBJ!
I will never say trade him ever again. And we haven't talked about even trading him or anything like that.
Right.
Do we get sick and tired of OBJ's antics every once in a while? Absolutely. We're all Cleveland Browns fans. We just want to win. And guess what? 3-1, 3 touchdowns from Odell, easily his best game he's ever had in a Cleveland uniform. But that 50-yard run. That 50 he went back like 10
Probably
yards.
70, honestly.
It really was. I mean, with all of the, him, jotting back 10 yards, getting I couldn't believe it. But as soon as he got past that initial wave, I was freaking out in the living room, just going, yeah. Like, I knew he was gone. I knew that was a touchdown. The moment he got to like the 35-yard line, I knew it was done. Just chalk it up. That's a TD right there. He's not pulling a DK Metcalf and pulling up, like showboating or anything like that. You knew exactly what he was going to do. He was getting to that end zone.
And that's one of those moments where it's like the football version of a break your ankles type thing when he planted inside, like to the outside, and then cut back in where he saw the little hole. And everybody, you just see, like, I know Jarvis was blocking, but you see, like, 3 Cowboys defenders that are pushing Jarvis out of the way. They all go sliding out of bounds, out of the frame.
Oh, yeah. It's unreal. And I wanted to bring this up before I get to that. Okay. Yeah. I was going to talk about Nick Chubb, and that's we'll get to that here in a second. But
break everything down.
Right. Before we bring everyone down to that level, I just wanted to let everyone know, how many games did it take Hugh Jackson to win 3 games?
40 games.
37. Took him 37. He got fired after 40.
Okay,
so he got let go after 40.
Okay,
but it took him 37 games to win 3 freaking games. That's where we're coming from, folks. From the unbelievable 1-31 that we were in, 1-15, 0-16, and then then we get Baker. And like, Baker love meter right now. Just to throw this out there.
Let's just go. I was going to bring it up later. Okay. But let's just do it.
I just want to do it right now. Baker love meter right now. I'm going into this week. He was a solid 7.5, 8. Okay. I loved everything about what he did today. Did he have a couple of overthrows?
Yes.
Absolutely. Should he have nailed a couple more? Yeah, for sure. But he had some precision passes that were unbelievable. Jarvis saved him on a couple of them.
Yeah.
But some of those sideline out passes are as tough as they can be.
Yes.
And he did a great job. Not doing too much, not doing not enough. He was fantastic. And I know that they didn't ask him to win the game, but they told him, you got to put us into a position to let us keep going. And he looked great. I'm going to give him a solid 8.5 right now, because I think like a 9 or a 10 for Baker needs to be like a 300-yard performance, a winning drive down the field sort of thing. And he didn't have to do that. But he sets you up in such a great fashion because he's not turning the ball over, which is the one thing you and I were talking about forever. I hated that. Thank God he's not doing that now.
Yeah, Baker makes the throw to keep you in the game and makes a throw when he needs to. He had 2 touchdown passes today. I know I'll take, 25 to 30 passing attempts. Maybe not at that 200-yard mark, but I'll take that with 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, making the throw when he needs to. Yes, that one to OBJ down the sideline that could have sealed it away before they got within 3. Yes, that's an overthrow. That's a problem. And I saw somebody on Twitter, I think it was Garrett Bush, who does the barbershop on 92.3 The Fan. He was going off. He was livid about that. I think there's a sense of that to chill, but we do live in reality, and we try to bring reality checks, and we're about this game.
Yep.
But Baker, you saw it in his eyes that he knows that, and he's already after the game saying, I don't care when the last time this organization went 3-1. And he's saying, I missed opportunities. We scored 49. That's great. But we actually left points out there. We could have scored more. That's what you want your leader doing, because he is executing on the field, makes some mistakes, then he talks about it after. I don't want to hear it before. The reason why this is so fun is because this team is executing what they said they would. This is what we waited for. We'll talk about that more later. But Peter, I want to get you in on this because Paulus and I are just,
we're going off the rails.
We're going off the rails. But just your thoughts, kind of watching this game, and where are you at with this Browns team?
I was excited because they came out. They looked great.
Yeah.
But sweating, that's the
perfect common theme of the game.
Yeah. man, that fourth quarter was something else.
Yeah.
No, they looked great. It was great to see OBJ, really getting out there, being involved. Landry made some great catches. That he made a great pass to OBJ. I mean,
yeah.
Just the running backs. One of the things that really impressed me, and I know we're going to get into this with Chubb, the depth at running back.
Yeah.
Because I was not expecting. I mean, I know we've got Hunt, which is fantastic, but I was just pleasantly surprised at the depth and the talent that we have at running back.
100%. I mean, once again, 307 rushing yards.
Yes.
We had 506 total yards in the game. When was the last time we had over 500 total yards, for an offense in one game? I mean, that just doesn't happen for the Browns. And you brought in the stat here for us. The last 3 games, we've scored over 30 points. The last time that's happened was 1968.
Yes.
And one last thing for the Baker caveat that I've been throwing, the bouquet that I've been throwing at him, 8-1 as if for him doing 30 or less pass attempts. There's your number. There's your number right there. 30 or less pass attempts, 8-1. That's all you have to know. Just run the damn ball, and you're going to win almost any game you want because the offensive line has played out of its mind. You had Alden Smith and Lawrence against you, and they played fantastic. Baker had to roll out a couple of times to get out of some pressure, but for the most part, he looked the offensive line looked great.
Again, I'll take what Baker is doing over Dak Prescott and his fantasy numbers.
He had 502 yards passing.
And it's great.
Unreal.
And he's trying to earn that contract in Dallas, trying to prove, well, this is why you should have paid me $45-50 million.
Sure.
That type of mentality. But you're doing it after when you're down. You're having to come back. You start off fast. Yeah, you're finishing strong, but you can't get them over the hump. So all of those yards are coming in losses.
Oh, garbage time. Yeah.
Right. It's not that I want a game manager because we know we talked about it last week. The negative connotation of a game manager is they're going to do enough to help you not lose.
Right.
But it's not going to be exciting. We scored 49 points. So you have a guy that's able to manage and balance enough and lead this team, game manage this team with the professional to elite level type throws that he is able to make accurately out there on the field. And as he gets more comfortable in this offense and they can kind of open up maybe the pass game a little bit, then these 19-20 connections that he's making, they're not just like this 4 or 5 yard third down crucial conversion. And it's great having wide receivers because you see it even with the best quarterbacks in the league.
Sure.
When they got great wide receivers, they're making them look good a few times too when they got to make a play.
Do you think Michael Thomas? Why do you think they paid $100 million to Michael Thomas? He makes Drew Brees look way better, and Drew Brees has struggled the last couple of games without Michael Thomas. It's no smoke and mirrors. It is what it is. Drew Brees is an older quarterback. He needs help. Michael Thomas is the best slant runner in the league, and he has hands of gold.
Right.
So you need to have that guy on your team, especially for someone like Drew Brees.
Right. So to make those throws now as the offense starts to open up, now you've gained confidence for the first quarter, and their minds they're barely celebrating. They're it's kind of that old school Bill Belichick, from a few years back. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
That's the kind of mentality because
It's a winner's mentality.
Kevin Stefanski never changes his tone. It's not like he's like rah-rah and you're not getting these videos in the locker room. I understand it is COVID and they're not allowing that kind of thing to happen.
Right.
But they were still able to do building the Browns. So there's somewhat of they were able to have a skeleton type film crew still doing behind the scenes type stuff. So you could still do something like that in the locker room.
Yeah.
There's no content on film for these rah-rah things in the locker room because winning one game, it's hard. You acknowledge it, you celebrate it, you give it 24 hours, then you move on. Kevin Stefanski may be moving on a little bit faster than that. But
which we're all fine with, by the way.
Yes, because it's working.
So thankful that it is.
But it's the whole thing of last year when this team was the darlings, and they may go back to that. So that's going to be a test for this team now being in good light in the national media instead of being, kind of trying to prove them wrong out there on the field.
Jim Rome called him America's real team.
Yeah, he's back to saying America's team. He did that last year when they were getting all the praise and they didn't have success. So how do they now handle that adversity? That's something to talk about down the line. However, it's a team that knows praise in the media before winning anything and not having any track record of winning anything, divisions, playoff games, even getting to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That is what this team needs. It needs to be held accountable that, yes, it is hard to win the NFL. You celebrate it. You take it in and you enjoy it. You don't take it for granted, but if you want more of that, you got to continue the same process that has gotten you to one win. That's what's going to get you to the next one.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. The way that I view this game, I want your opinion on this. I want to know, who is your MVP of this game?
OBJ.
Yeah.
And I could give it to Miles, too, because
Miles was a beast of a man today. And, preferably in the first half. He had the sack, strip sack, third straight game of doing it. He leads the league in sacks. It's why you paid him $125 million, folks.
Yes.
He's not overrated. Yes. I saw a lot of that happening over the last couple of weeks, preferably, not last week or the week before, but right around the beginning of the year, you get blown out by Baltimore. I understand 38-6, it looked really bad. But I mean, you could even tell then Miles was disrupting Lamar. Lamar got his first rushing touchdown today. He's trying not to run as much, but he's trying to be more of a precision thrower. And that offense for the Ravens is real quick with the ball. Yeah. So it's tougher for Miles to do that. Now, Miles dominated today in that first half, like I said. The defense, though, the second half was pretty porous. We'll get to that here in a second. But OBJ for you is the MVP.
OBJ is my MVP because I'm sure as we go around, Miles is still going to be mentioned anyways.
Right.
And unsung hero, because as we come out of this, we're going to be transitioning into the running backs and what they did. The underrated star was Dearness Johnson.
Sure, for sure. Peter, how about you?
I had to agree with OBJ for this game. I mean, just there were such high hopes when he came here, and seeing him have the game that he had today, was a breath of fresh air, really. I mean, it was it's like, all right, like you said before, the antics. Yeah, we want to win
so bad.
So that excuses a lot of crap right there.
Yeah.
So his performance today. So if he can keep doing that,
and we needed it. I mean, with Nick Chubb going down, and my MVP of the game is the running back room. You have to give it to these guys. Once again, 307 yards. Talked about that.
Yep.
But Dearness Johnson, his first, and this is one of the stats I wanted to bring up. Dearness Johnson's 19 career games before coming in today, 5 rushes, 26 yards. Today, he had 13 carries for 95 yards in a game we absolutely needed him. He wasn't getting easy yards.
No,
he was making some tough ass runs. He was blowing people up. He was doing everything possible to get through the line. He did a great job, and not only him, but Kareem Hunt too. Kareem Hunt had 2 touchdowns, 71 rushing yards.
Battling a groin injury.
Battling. This is the best thing about being a winner, because people want to play as much as possible. You're hurt. Guess what? I want to play. I want to be a part of this team. I want to win. I want to do that. We've seen so many times, and I know you as fans, we all know this, that we've seen these Browns teams start off 1-5, 1-6, and those little nagging injuries, my hammy is a little tight today. You know what? I'm going to take today off. Oh, you know what? It's Sunday. Pulled it. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right. Not these guys. They want to play because we're winning, and we're doing a great job doing that. And I'm so thankful that it's finally happening. And it's all coming together because we have the front office Andrew Berry looks really good with a lot of his moves. The only move that he messed up on was probably not keeping Joe Schobert. Yeah, well, like, and I saw that somewhere on Twitter. I'm sorry, if I don't mention you, but that's a good point. Not having Joe Schobert, this linebacking core is in desperate need of help.
The back seven.
The back seven absolutely is in desperate need of help. But other than Joe Schobert, I think that Andrew Berry's done a phenomenal job getting Kevin Stefanski, who is like my man crush on man crushes right now. I know Baker's up there. Stefanski, though, is a 10 out of 10 right now. Everything that he's doing is hitting. The only move that I didn't like at all so far this year in 4 games is that fake punt that they ran against the Baltimore Ravens. Honestly, that's the only play that I've looked at him and gone, dude, what the hell were you thinking?
Right.
It's the only play. Other than that, he has done a phenomenal job coaching this team because we are running the hell out of the rock, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
So,
and the offensive line is
fantastic.
Is running this zone blocking scheme.
Yeah.
To a T. I mean, you're not.
Wyatt Teller looks like a Pro Bowler. He looks awesome out there.
And I'm not sure how many penalties the Browns had today, but this is a much more disciplined team. And you mentioned it. Guys want to play. If you go back to that first season where the Browns were on Hard Knocks and Jarvis is in that in the wide receivers room, and he's talking about, if you're...
We had 5 penalties. That's what...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
okay.
I knew what's going on. But he's in that wide receiver saying, you gotta play through. I forget what the exact quote line was that people kind of cut, and but basically saying, if you got a little nagging injury, you gotta fight through it. Like, this is what good teams do.
Yeah.
You might be on the injury report, but you gotta fight through it. And it's those injuries that...
It's contagious.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
contagious.
Well, hopefully this is contagious now in a good way. And winning is maybe starting to become contagious. We know it's not easy. It's not easy week to week. This is not glowing remarks for a Browns team thinking that we've won something.
Right.
We have not. Okay? We're also going to talk about kind of the reality versus kind of the sunglasses on. I think it's time to take these off.
Good call.
Because we are really getting into what is realistic about this team. And Browns fans, as much as we love this win, please open your eyes to what still needs to happen for this team to continue the success. But hopefully this is contagious. And guys that have those injuries, that when they talk about them in the preseason, and they may be soft tissue or something like that, where it's like, well, if this was an actual game, they would go, but we're being extra cautious. Well, for what the Browns were as a bad team before, those injuries would then bleed into the season, and guys weren't willing to come out and play because, like, even if it was an injury they could play through,
right,
they wouldn't, because that wasn't that urge or that culture where I'm going to do my job for the team to win. And that's what Jarvis and OBJ have been talking about. I know we mentioned the antics. Some of the antics about OBJ, I don't want to say get overblown, but kind of get put on him unfairly. This season, there really hasn't been antics and him clamoring for the ball. He talks about every single Thursday.
Yep.
Jarvis and I are out there. I want Nick Chubb to be the leading rusher. I want Hunt to be, kind of come in and us to lead the league in rushing, and I'm going to block as much as I need to. And he is being patient. And some people talked about what Baker said on the mic last week in the game against the Washington football team when he throws that touchdown to Harrison Bryant and then goes over to OBJ and Landry as they're walking out the field. He says, be patient. I love you guys. Be patient. And that's what they're doing because they see what this offense can do. And they know that they haven't had a lot of time to really allow Stefanski to really open it up. Each week opens it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And now the winning culture becomes contagious. The urge to be out there and be a part of it is contagious. And guys are fighting through things to battle for their team. It's not the old coach cliche of, oh, we really battled today and we lost 38-17. But
we've heard that way too much.
Guys, I feel like our guys really battled today. I got to watch the film, but I feel like our guys really battled.
It's always we got to watch the film.
But now when you hear a coach say, we battled and guys fought through so many things, and yes, we got things to clean up, and we got to watch this film because we left so many points out there and we already scored 49. now you start to believe what they're saying because you see them actually doing it on the field. That's what we've wanted for so long.
And I'm glad that you brought up, the Odell factor, him a head case maybe or anything like that. He absolutely hasn't done anything like that remotely this year. He's not doing the, come get me, thing anymore. Like,
there's
I
no
don't want to say
like
there's no reports. There's
yeah.
nothing really negative out there. The only thing that I've seen was, once again, the Ravens game. Like, I just want to throw that video away, but like he was arguing on the sidelines with his, I believe, the wide receiver coach. Okay, cool. You're down 38-6. Yeah, I want the ball. Come on. I'm a difference maker out there. Give me the ball. Today, he was the difference maker. He was an absolute stud out there. 154 total yards. I mean, he had, the 73 rushing yards along with the 81 for the receptions. I'm so thankful that everything is sort of coming together.
Yes.
And I really do think that this is because of Kevin Stefanski. And we were, I don't know about you personally, but I was terrified, about Kevin Stefanski taking over the play calling because I've seen that story before. Wasn't too thrilled about that, but I don't know. Like, I wish that we had a Kevin Stefanski coach. I like Joe Woods, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But like on the defense, because we look like Swiss cheese out there, man.
Yes.
Like we got so many holes out there. It's rough.
And I do want to switch gears to the defense. We would be remiss if we didn't send our best out to Nick Chubb. And we hope that
100%. It's such a heartbreaker.
We hope the MRI tomorrow comes back kind of, almost in that Mac Wilson ilk where it was it looked bad, but it's not as bad. So and you see that you do have the depth to kind of maybe a couple games out. Sure. You can definitely kind of handle the load.
Thankfully, you have Kareem Hunt, who was a Pro Bowler. I mean, he led the league in rushing, his rookie year. So he can do that. Honestly, he's more dynamic than Nick Chubb, and he might actually be a better fit for this offense just because he's a 3-down back. He can throw. And don't get me wrong, Nick can catch. Yes. I don't want to say he can't. Right. But Hunt is like that real versatile dude that he's literally like, we all remember Duke Johnson. He is a billion times better Duke Johnson. Like, he is what Duke Johnson dreams he could be. And don't get me wrong, I love you, Duke. Good luck with the 0-4 Texans. Right. But sorry for that knife in the back. Jeez. But yeah, no, Kareem Hunt, I think, can get us through a couple of games. Obviously, you want to see Nick out there because he is a stud and he can lead the league in rushing at any point in time. But yeah.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt is a number 1 running back with breakaway speed being used in the old Duke Johnson role right now. Right. And having a lot of success. Imagine, just picture that. Like, he's being used in the old Duke Johnson role, and we loved Duke Johnson because he'd pick up third downs when we would need him to. Now you have a guy that can do more than that, than just pick up third downs, and you have guys to fill in for Nick Chubb, but we are hoping for the best for him. On the other side of the ball, the defense. They are actually leading the NFL in turnovers with 8, and the Browns are actually leading the league, their offensively, turning those turnovers into points with 45 points. That stat courtesy of Mike Bohm, a producer at 850 ESPN Cleveland, as I was driving in to do this live here tonight. Want to make sure we give credit where credit is due. And this defense, they're able to get pressure on the quarterback. However, that fourth quarter, I'm not a big fan of the whole, especially at the beginning. When you got a big lead going into the fourth quarter, starting the quarter already in that prevent defense. I don't like prevent defense as it is. I understand it because it's been around for so long. Yeah. I just want your thoughts, kind of what you've seen from this defense, because I don't know that I can consider this an average defense. I'm not sure if you feel that way, Paulus. But we're still leading the league in turnovers. Don't consider them average. And if we did have an average defense, where would this team be at this point? Just what you saw from the defense today specifically gives you hope and maybe gives you pause for concern.
It really is like a bittersweet sort of game because, we ended on the Denzel interception, which was great. Yeah, yes. Great way to end the game right there. but they had their moments. It was like a real hot and cold sort of game. Like you had these real hot points of Miles getting, the sack turnover and, scoring the points off of that and doing everything like that. But then, I mean, you give up, what was it, 24 points or 27 points, whatever it was, going into the fourth quarter. I mean, you were up 41-14. The fact that you started playing prevent defense is ridiculous.
Right.
I get it, but you want to do what got you to that point.
That's what I was just about to say the same thing.
That's the thing. Like put some pressure out there. Man them up. Try and bump them a little bit. Bump and run them. Do something. Do whatever you did those first 3 quarters because it worked.
Yeah.
I get. The Cowboys are an explosive team. Obviously, Dak had 502 yards passing. And they had 85 yards rushing, but that's my favorite stat, 307 to 85 for Zeke. And I love Zeke, Ohio State boy. Obviously, we all love Zeke.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love
Zeke
that.
has not looked the same in Dallas as what
you
what
pay
we
a
saw.
running back. It's what happens.
I know.
I mean, that happens, and then the offensive coordinator. I mean, they still have the same offensive coordinator. But it's just they want so badly to Dak to be that guy that they are throwing everything out at him. He might throw for 6,000 yards this year. Like, he might be the first quarterback to ever throw for 6,000 yards. I want everyone to know that. He had 502 today. Right now he is on pace for over 6. So just to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But that being said, it just proves that, I mean, that's not a winning formula.
Well, and yet
it
they're still.
isn't.
And yet they're still going to make the playoffs. He's going to throw for 6,000 yards. They're going to be 6-10, 7-9. But that NFC East is so bad.
So bad. They're 1-3 and tied for the lead. Could you imagine being that? We'd have it wrapped up right now. Like at this point in time, 3-1. You wrap it up. Just give us the title. Give us the banner. Let's go.
2-game lead in the NFC East is running away with it right now, man.
Well, yeah.
Oh my goodness! But this defense, we know that they give up so many yards, and I'm going to steal kind of a thought process from our good friend and buddy. I don't know if you're watching, Emmett.
Yeah.
E. Golden of 850 ESPN Cleveland. He is referring to a certain safety as only by their number right now. And I am sticking with that mold.
Sure.
Number 23 has got to go.
He was the captain today.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know what he did in practice. I know he's a veteran. I know Stefanski knows him from Minnesota. So I know reality-wise why he was picked as captain. But I don't know as a fan, I don't know what he's done to earn being that one captain that Stefanski is picking. And it is bad back there. I'd rather see Ronnie Harrison, the one you traded for,
and
a younger guy.
He almost made a play. I mean, they're integrating him in. I mean, we got him so late because Jacksonville, it looked like they were just tanking. And that they ended up winning the one game. I don't know if they won today or not. I didn't check that out yet, but
Jacksonville lost.
Did they? Okay, so they're 1-3.
Joe Burrow got his first one.
Joe Burrow. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. The Tigers got their first win too. That week one was it was a problem, but
go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
But yeah, I mean, congrats to Joe Burrow. But yeah, no, Ronnie Harrison. I love what Ronnie did. He almost had the interception today. I was rooting for it, obviously. But right, yeah, I mean, just throwing that out there. But I think
Paulus rooted in certain moments of the game.
In case we didn't know.
Right, in case you had no idea.
I mean, your wife is in the background today. I'm pretty sure she can attest to, and she did before we went on, that you were rooting for the Browns and maybe almost causing yourself injury.
Almost did. Almost slipped in the living room. So yeah, no, there was almost did.
Was Rue there to save you?
We were up at my dad's house today. So yeah, no animals were there. My nephews, who are basically animals, were there. They were playing with a bubble machine and spilled some suds on the ground. So that's
that's it.
Oh yeah. Almost biffed it. Almost did.
Yeah.
Getting back to the point, though, Ronnie Harrison is I think he is going to be a really good player here for us. The only reason why 23 is playing right now is because Grant Delpit isn't. Because Grant Delpit's out. So I mean, he shouldn't even be on the field, but he is, and we just kind of have to deal with it right now until someone else steps up. it is what it is. And does it suck that he sucks? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we ended up winning this game. And like, I know we've been talking about this defense and, roughly about 20 minutes left here for us. But I mean, and we've been hitting this hard.
Yeah.
I just love I want to end this here for us, before we hit the Indians and everything like that. But
Yeah.
I just want to be so thankful that we finally have a coach. We finally have a coach that understands Cleveland, understands Cleveland football. We are a town of passionate fans. And what do we love more than anything else in the world? We're not like Atlanta that wants to see these high flyers, like, oh, Julio Jones, like Julio's cool. Yeah, no, I get that. And we have Odell, we have Jarvis.
He's got to help out my fantasy team.
I know. But like,
I made a trade with somebody over here and it's not working out for me.
Well, it didn't help me today either. I lost by like 90. So,
all right.
yeah, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But I just want to be thankful because Kevin Stefanski knows and understands Cleveland football. Run the rock. That's how you win these games. Run it 60% of the times, and it works. It just does. It's awesome.
It does, and there's still the opportunity for the passing game. Not to, go for 300, 400 yards, but to open up to, that 250, 275. There's still opportunities for that. It's just this defense, it needs to step it up. And it does suck that Sendejo, that I'm using, I guess I'll use his name one time.
You have to now, yeah.
One time.
Right.
That's the last time he's being used on Voice of the Land. Yeah, it sucks that 23 sucks because I've seen 23 be better in Minnesota, but he's getting towards the tail end of his career. What I liked about the pickup originally was he was going to be depth and to help the young guys we were going to bank on to be in that secondary to kind of be an extension of the defensive coordinator and the defensive backs coach, kind of be that player to then relay the message, and it comes through that much more importantly and impactfully to these young guys. Unfortunately, due to injury, he's been forced in there, and a lot of the big plays involve a number 23. See, in this town, it used to be a 23, the number 23, there was big plays for us.
Right.
Right now,
it's against us.
It's against us, but I'm glad to have the true King 23 supporting us, even as he's getting ready for Game 3, which should be just tipping off here on ESPN. The Lakers looking to go up 3-0.
They will.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think they want to go home.
Yeah,
they want to go home.
They do.
I mean,
LeBron does.
LeBron definitely.
LeBron wants to go home because he keeps posting pictures of his kids and everything, and whatever happened with Bronny and what he was doing.
Right.
That'll be handled once LeBron gets home.
I'm sure it'll be okay. Whenever that all happens, but at that moment, probably.
I just want to end this Browns conversation as we switch gears.
Yeah.
To let all Browns fans that are watching right now, I want to give you a dose of reality, a reality check that we give very often here on Voice of the Land. I saw a lot of people were going back at the Cleveland.com reporters or other reporters that posted on Twitter that they had predicted the Cowboys to win. And the fact that, there was people saying, well, if you're not, and I think it was Chris McNeil, the 0-16 parade guy, who does stuff with Big Play as well, on the Reflog show on Big Play. He tweeted out saying, if you think the Browns are going to find a way to lose this game up 27 points, you're not a real Cleveland fan.
Right.
But we did get that feeling. I'm sure there's a lot of Browns fans that got that feeling. The reality of it is, until this team starts to consistently and continues to consistently prove what they're capable of on the field, as they did today, those predictions are coming out of reality. Not what those reporters want to happen, but what they see in reality.
Right.
The Browns haven't proven they can go on the road and win a big game. Yes, I know Dallas is 1-3, but that is still a big win in Jerry's world, where they're allowing 25,000 fans in there. So that was the first true road game of the year. You break your 7-game losing streak on the road. You get a big win against Dallas, who, again, they have quality NFL players on that roster and players that are probably going to try to get them to the playoffs. Probably going to be a playoff team anyways, find a way in, and you got that win. So as they start to do that more, then the reality predictions start to match what the fandom inside wants to do. I came in with the brown and orange colored sunglasses right here. But we have to take those off. We have to continue to take these off and really see what's going on. And as this team starts to build what they're doing, you're going to get more opportunities and more fun times like this because they're not satisfied. They're already talking about what they could have done more of, rather than, oh well, we just got to watch the film. They're holding themselves accountable, each other accountable, and ready to do more and go back to work to get more on the season. And that's the reality. So we love it. We love Victory Mondays, Victory Sunday nights, and Victory Mondays.
You know, the only time I ever turn in, and First Take, it's hit or miss for me. You know, it depends on the topics, everything like that. You obviously know that Stephen A's known cowboy hater.
Oh.
It's going to be the first topic brought up tomorrow.
Did you see?
Oh, I
Stephen
saw
A on
it. I
Twitter?
loved it. Absolutely love it.
He's
Just sitting there eating a cookie.
He's like in his, he's just in his, like Sunday, just casual wear around the house.
Oh yeah.
He's laughing in the camera. He sits down. He's eating a homemade chocolate chip cookie,
With a
and
glass
then
of milk.
he drinks. He takes a glass. He takes the drink of milk.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I got my." How about them Cowboys?
Oh, dude,
Like,
I love it. And like those are the times that I
Yes.
tune in every single time. You know, whenever a Browns topic is going to come up, that I gotta see. You know, I gotta check it out. Then it's going to be the first topic. Obviously, it's going to be the first topic, unless something crazy happens. You know, tonight
Yes.
or whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to tune in to see what Stephen A has to say, and I know it's going to be a lot of Cowboys talk, and probably not a whole lot of Browns or Baker love, or OBJ is going to get a nice shout out though, and that Max Kellerman's a known Giants fan, that'll kill Max.
Yeah, and then I'll turn off First Take in like 2 minutes after they start yelling at each other the whole time. Like we've been more boisterous here tonight on our first live ever, but in a good way. They're kind of like blow your eardrums out, just yelling into the mic. No matter what. Like even if it's like, I don't even. It's like the most basic kind of conversation. We all agree. We're just gonna yell at each other just to yell or something like that. That's not what we're about. We're trying to change the game.
Yeah,
we in it to change the game.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here to do. Do want to switch gears. I know that NFL is struggling with the COVID testing, and Tennessee Titans keep having players testing positive. Cam Newton tested positive.
Yeah.
Game pushed back to tomorrow between the Patriots and the Chiefs in Kansas City. Looks like they are going to be able to get that one going as long as more tests kind of come back negative on the Kansas City side later today and into tomorrow. And then, of course, you got the Monday Nighter tomorrow, too. So you got a game at 7 and then a game at pushed back to 8:50. So you get 2 games on Monday night. That's great for football fans. But you're getting, like, COVID is starting to hit. Now they're starting to hit their issues like MLB did. I know people are upset because they're fantasy rosters, but the NFL is out in front of it. And they're trying to increase as many protocols as they can. And hopefully guys are holding themselves accountable. Like, there's some things you can't control. Yeah. You can't control where you go. So hopefully these guys aren't, like, going out and, like, whatever club is open. And I just saw on CBS today that in their halftime report between, I think it was Buffalo and Las Vegas, when the local CBS news station came on, did their little halftime hit, there's 3 or 4 bars in downtown Cleveland that are being hit with penalties and stuff like that for breaking COVID protocols.
I'd believe it. I'd believe it. I mean, I think we have a bar like right down the road from where Kelly and I live that is like open 24/7. I'm 100% certified that they don't close at 10 o'clock or whatever time it's supposed to close nowadays. So I mean, and it's out there. Unfortunately, we're gonna have more issues like this. I know that the NFL really wants to try and get this figured out and just make sure that, because let's say the Titans have more people pop up this week. That means that the Bills game that they're supposed to be playing might get pushed back or might, whatever happens with that. It's terrible that this is kind of what was happening, but I was hoping that the NFL was going to have something in place to sort of make it right, and they just haven't done that. So it's tough though whenever you have a set schedule set like this, and it not like baseball. Baseball, it's everything's like real close, and you can be like, okay, like let's just pair it up that way and go from there.
These guys go out and they do like those traditional double headers. Like it just happens like out of the blue because you had to cancel and they have to do it, like 30 minutes in between the games.
Right.
And you got same everyday players going out to play 2 games. They're playing the game that they love, that they grew up as a kid playing. They go out there and they're able to do it. It's a little bit different with the type of physical strain that the NFL brings on a person's body.
100%. Yeah.
So prayers out to everybody that is testing positive, dealing with the virus, And I know that our president tested positive
He
as
did.
well. I mean, there is no political lines when it is dealing with a health crisis. There is
100%.
no
Yeah.
there is no like, oh, like I'm against the NFL, or
Right.
like I don't like football, I only like baseball. Like whether your sport line lies or where your political lines lie.
Right. Republican, Democrat, Independent, just you
All
never
thoughts out
wish
to
that.
everybody that has
Absolutely.
tested positive for
Absolutely.
this virus has to deal with it. And to those that have lost loved ones because of this, we send our condolences, our true, sincere condolences out to you. We hope we can turn a corner very, very soon. And we want to continue to thank all of our frontline workers, all the nurses, the doctors, first responders, everyone that is helping to fight this virus and putting themselves and even their families at risk to help other people and their families from contracting this virus. We can't thank you enough. And we're able to do things like this in a socially distant manner as we have this set up here in our studio. We're able to do this because people have put the proper protocols in place. We follow them, and they are putting in the grunt of the work to keep everybody safe. We want to wrap this live up because we've mentioned baseball. Unfortunately, Peter's distinction that we play well against
Thanks, Peter.
the Yankees.
Yeah.
It was the
Oh yeah, the Yankees. Oh, we'll beat their ass.
so
I kind of regret that.
well, this Browns win kind of helps ease that sting from
Absolutely,
this past week a
yeah.
little bit, but it still does truly sting. As big of baseball fans as we are, I mean, Paulus, what were you going through this week when you kind of saw that? Did you know the Indians were going to lose, or I mean, you couldn't have seen the pitching staff take the dump that they did. Basically,
They did. I mean, the best pitching, and we touted them as the best pitching staff in not only the American League. I mean, you had Biebs, who won the Triple Crown. It hasn't happened since Johan Santana of 2001 or six. It's been a while.
Yes.
So to see him just get shell shocked. I mean, in his first outing. And my issue with the whole pitching staff is I liked the fact going into the series, I was like, we got young, strong arms. I didn't take into account that playoff baseball. I mean, I guess the momentum of the moment,
Yes.
is right on your shoulders at
Yeah.
all times. It feels like you have like an 800-pound gorilla on you at all times because you are so stressed out, because that's what playoffs are. Win or go home, and in a 3-game series, Biebs getting shelled was shocking. I mean, losing that first game, I was like, we still got a chance because we still have Cookie. We still got a lot of people that we can throw out there. We should have a shot. But that first game, it was hard to watch. It was terribly hard to watch. But then the second game got even harder because it was statistically the longest played 9-inning game in MLB history, and it broke my heart at 1:15 in the morning, October 1st. We did play October baseball, so I mean, we can't say that. But it broke my heart seeing that 10-9 game. And you know what? I want to come out here and say something, because I gave our outfield so much crap, and Delino DeShields, you can just cut bait and run. Like, you can just go. Like, I'm done with you, Delino.
he really is taking shots today.
But I wanted to say this. Josh Naylor, like
Wow.
I want to give you, no doubt, you proved me wrong. I thought that the Clev trade was a terrible trade because we didn't get a bat back. You know what we got? We didn't get a bat that really dominated in the regular season, but in the playoffs, you, my friend, showed up. And thank you for that, because it gives me hope for next year. I know we're probably not going to have Frankie, and that sucks. Frankie's probably gone. If not, then we'll have him for a half a year, maybe at the most, and then we'll trade him to get something, which is the smart thing to do. You got to trade him. Yeah, you have to. No matter what, you don't want Bryce Harper walking away from you. I know they won the World Series the next year, but that's not going to happen.
Just
You
be
need the
realistic.
prospects.
Be realistic.
Right.
If Frankie goes this offseason,
Yeah.
if we end up like the Nationals, great, because we break the long
Hell yeah.
70-plus year streak of
Right.
not going to the World Series and winning it. Reality would tell you
but-
it's most likely not going to happen.
Right, but once again, Josh Naylor gives me hope. I mean, like to have him on our team, like that actually does give me a little bit of hope for next year. I still love Beebs. I mean, Karen Check. I love all of these guys.
Yeah.
Brad Hand, you suck. You can go. But other than that, like I
was
love
waiting for that.
I love the other guys though, so that's a bonus.
But he was 16 for 16 in the regular season.
Yeah,
on save
okay. As
opportunities.
soon as he came out, I was like, because the Yankees are a right-handed team. Just, they hit the crap out of right-handed pitching, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you know what, it happens. We'll go from there. And
Jose Mesa had what, like 40 saves?
Yeah.
I know.
Someone brought up who's a bigger choker, Frankie or Jose, and I was like, dude, come on, like. Don't even bring that up, like, because we has Frankie choked the last couple of games? Yeah. Did he do it in Game 7 of the World Series and crush my spirits and made my dad cry? No, that didn't happen. No one's crying over Frankie.
He made a lot of people cry.
I know nobody's crying over Frankie's performance.
Peter, how are you feeling? Because we know how big baseball is for you and kind of your rankings of the sports too. So,
I had such high hopes for them, and I admit I thought, hey, they traditionally they play well against the Yankees in the postseason, and they just it seemed like everything that could go wrong went wrong, and it was to see Bieber just beaten like that was just
he looked lost.
Yes,
he did.
That broke I think everyone's hearts in Cleveland. So.
That first 2-run home run really broke Bieber that early because they had a plan to kind of go away from that. And I feel like he may have started that game as if the offense wasn't very good, how they did early in the season, trying to make the perfect pitches. And I think he was overthrowing. And someone said that 10-9 game was a great game to watch. I don't remember who it was.
But I think Goldhammer. Yeah, I know Goldhammer said that.
Goldhammer, I think Emmett said that too. Sure. No, that was the worst 10-9 come back and forth type game I've ever watched, and I was saying words I shouldn't be saying, and will not say on this podcast.
Good call.
Or on this show. Sorry, on the show.
Hey.
But I was saying things that because every single pitcher that came in through a first pitch ball couldn't find the strike zone, and when they did. It was served up for the big bombers of the Yankees, the Skankies, to go and do what they do, and it was agonizingly long as a baseball game. It wasn't fun going back and forth because when the offense would actually step it up, pitching would come right back out and give it up. And I thought that's what the Browns were going to do today too, because Browns get the first stop, they get that big play from Jarvis to OBJ. By the way, bless him play of the game. Jarvis to OBJ.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But then the defense comes out and gives it right up, and they give up 2 touchdowns. Thinking this is the defense that we know that giving up a bunch of yards.
Sure.
That's what the pitching staff did. Your offense finally gave you run support and kept coming back, showed resiliency, one of the few times they've done it all year long.
Yeah.
And you had nothing going on there.
Yep.
You had absolutely nothing going on, and it was agonizing to watch. And
it was rough. It was definitely rough. Real quick, I mean, we got 2 minutes. Sandy, if Tito doesn't come back, is Sandy the manager? Should he be the manager? Let me put it that way, because I think he will be. But should he be?
I think he should. The whole season was kind of a learning experience for Sandy.
Sure.
You saw him start to make that transition as a regular season manager and kind of finding his own voice. We got to talk about voices later, in another episode, because our name is really starting to get out there for Cleveland sports. But he found his voice. I think that this was a big learning curve. I'll still take Sandy Alomar as the backup, but I hope Tito stays.
Sure. Peter?
I hope to see Tito return.
Sure.
Yes.
But I think Sandy, honestly, it worries me a little bit, but I think Sandy is probably set up the best to step in.
Yeah.
Almost like a Ryan Day.
A little bit, yeah. No,
100%.
Yeah.
I think he's set up there. I think he can continue what Tito has has
Yes.
built here, and I hope that happens. I want that winning culture to continue.
Right.
Some younger guys under control.
Yeah.
You got some areas you're going to need work on, but some younger guys under control.
Right. And for me, like I'm a little torn. Obviously, Tito, if he is healthy enough to do it, yeah, would love to have Tito back. I mean, he is the best manager in the game. I don't know if Sandy is the right manager for the Indians. I love Sandy. I loved him as a player, everything like that. But the ballsiest move I have ever seen is pitch hitting Josh Naylor, who was on fire.
Yep.
You know, those 2 games, pitch hitting him for Jordan Luplow. It worked.
Yep.
But was it the right overall call? Because later in the game,
Yeah.
Jordan Luplow, I think the second to last hitter in the game, and you're down 10-9. I mean, he comes up and it's not Naylor. To me, it like we're focusing in on that, and that is literally the ballsiest move I have ever seen
It's
a manager do, and it worked. And I was calling for his name.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'll pack your bags tonight,
Yeah,
Sandy."
I saw,
and it worked. I was like, "You win."
I saw way
guess.
too many people. I was only going to do it if it didn't work. Like the percentage just said it wouldn't, but it did. It wasn't the thing that lost them the series.
It
wasn't the thing that lost them that game. So hats off to Sandy.
If he comes back, I'm definitely going to root for him. Absolutely, I'll give him a chance, and I hope and pray he's the one that breaks the curse then. But you know, it is. I couldn't believe he made that move. That was the ballsiest move, and it worked, like I said. But man, that was ballsy.
Prayers, Tito. Please come back. Please come back.
God.
Wow, what a live, what a start to the live there.
Pretty good.
But that is gonna wrap it up here. We got a little announcement to kind of record for all of you, but you don't get to see that here live. You gotta wait.
Wednesday,
tease,
baby. Wednesday.
A little tease, but there's a reason why we went live and practiced going live here tonight, and you'll find out on Wednesday. Stay tuned to @VTL_pod on Twitter and all of our social media sites, because that announcement will be coming. But for this live edition, this first live edition of the VTL pod, that is going to do it for us, for my brother Nick Paulus and our producer extraordinaire Peter Tellup. I am here to tell all of you sports fans out there, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We love you all 3,000. And of course, here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Ho, ho.
We'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful evening.